Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we're here for a last to first challenge. So before we get into anything, apologies for basically not uploading for 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since my last actual video. Obviously I did that stream on Ride probably about 2 weeks ago as well, so I can only apologise for that. I've just been really busy with university work basically, which I did say could happen, but I did promise once a week uploads and I've failed that twice now, so apologies for that. But obviously we're doing a last first challenge here. It's actually at the Teruel GP. I actually had to Google it because I had no idea what it was called. Obviously we had the Aragon GP last week, so it can serve for both, but since that's the one that's actually coming up, we'll go with that. Obviously Alex Marquez probably been the standout performer at the Aragon Grand Prix, and today as well, obviously topping free practice 1. It was absolutely amazing, so it's nice to see Alex on a good run of form. Obviously the Repsol Honda team have been struggling so much, 2 podiums in a row, and he could fight for the win this weekend. There is actually a chance of a Marquez victory before Mark actually returns, which is quite interesting. I don't think anybody saw that coming when Mark injured himself earlier on in the season. But without any further ado then, we'll get this race started and let's see what we can do from the back. I've not played the MotoGP class for quite a while, so I will be very rusty.
The final riders have taken their place on the starting grid and everything is ready to start the race. Just a few seconds to go and the lights at the Aragon track will signal the start of the race.
So then we've got Viñales on pole and then the 2 Suzukis alongside. I'm in first person for some reason and now I'm not. Down to power, traction 2, up to power mode 2, lights out and away we go off the line. See Stefan Bradl a couple of places in front of us. So we go down towards first corner, braking fairly early. Don't want to barrel it in too much. I've had contact with Tito about already though. We're sliding that rear tyre, so we've got to get it up to temperature. It's a hard tyre. You've got to try and get the heat in it straight away. We're right behind Alex Marquez. I've actually just hit him at the back. It's allowed Petrucci to get back around the outside on the power. Here we go. Oh, past Dobby. He's well up the inside of one of the Tech 3s. I think it was Lecuona, but I'm not 100% sure. Because it looks like it's Oliveira in front of us. Yeah, it was Lecuona by the looks of it. So our teammates actually still in front of us. Bradl actually having a pretty good start here. We're up the inside of Bradl now. Almost went to the back of Oliveira there. Well, I thought I was going to. Actually wasn't that close to him. Zarco on the outside squeezing him out. So up to 14th place. 8 places already as we go towards sort of the corkscrew section. Trying to go around the outside of Oliveira, but we're closing up. Oh, we almost had contact with Crutchlow there. You don't want to have contact with anybody that's riding the same bike. I've just seen Valentino Rossi further up the order, so I actually forgot to remove him for this race. I did intend to do that before I recorded, that I would remove him, obviously because he's ill with COVID. See the best wishes to him as well on his recovery. Almost hitting up the back there of Nakagami, but Miller's pretty far down the order. Miller down in 11th, trying to get around the outside of Miller. That rear tyre has got no grip on the green a little bit there. Close up to Crutchlow. I've had contact with Crutchlow now, so we've finally hit someone up the back. Miller's trying to come back up the inside. We've got back in front of Miller now then. It's up at 11th place. So it has been a very chaotic first lap. That must be said in the slipstream of Crutchlow. There's Nakagami. See on the older Honda going a bit slow. Past him we go. Can we get past Crutchlow as well on the brakes? Oh, massive stoppie. Oh, we've took Crutchlow out. Alright, so I think we're going to have to give myself some sort of penalty for that. Did a massive stoppie and just went straight into the side of Carl Crutchlow. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and replicate the long lap as well as I can later on the lap. I can't really remember whereabouts it is. Like exactly, but I know which corner it's on, so I'll go wide through that corner. So Polo Spagro then up next, but that's only for now. Of course, we're going to drop quite far down the order, I would assume. We've only got 8 laps as well. I don't want to give myself a 50% race, so that'll be a bit too easy. Up the inside of pole we go. We couldn't quite pull that one off. Obviously, we've got 3 laps actually to serve that long lap, if I'm going to give myself one, so I think I'll wait till the race has got on a bit more. So up the inside of pole then, we're not going to get that one stopped. He's going to come back. Oh, he's actually not come back up the inside. I was expecting him to get the cut back, but we kind of forced him wide with us. So we managed to keep the position. Valentino Rossi then up next, and Morbidelli, his protege, then Mir, and then it looks like Brad Binder quite high up the order. Obviously still a bit of an effect of when I had to make the KTMs quite a bit better based on their well, they kind of peaked in those 3 races, Brno and the 2 Austrias, and they've not really been that competitive since. Not been bad, don't get me wrong, but obviously not quite what they were at before. So the Doctor then up next. Can we try and get past Valentino Rossi? This will be the test on the brakes. So we should be able to blast past him. He's on the Yamaha. We might be able to get Morbidelli as well if we can set this exit up great. We actually have, because Espargaro is too far behind. So there we are, side by side with Valentino already. moving over on him a little bit aggressive there in the slipstream of Morbidelli. Can we get him as well? Down towards the last corner. Mir is actually almost within striking range. But we're not quite going to go for Mir. I didn't want to clatter another AI out of this last corner. That'd be 2 long laps. You can see Rins has been overtaken by Binder up ahead. Quartararo's got his way up into 2nd place. Vinales still seems to be leading the race at this point in time. So we hit the brakes then. I've just done the fastest lap, 47.4. Oh, massive stoppie again into the first corner. Rossi's got the inside now, so Rossi got back past Morbidelli, and he's got back past me now, and I'm trying to get past Valentino. This is going to be scary stuff into turn 3. Crutchlow's just done the fastest lap, 47.2, so obviously after we've knocked him off, he's got a pretty good pace. Binder, yeah, up into 3rd place now. We're going to get a penalty. Yes, we are. 4 tenths. I told you I was rusty. Not quite got the pace I should have. Should probably do the long lap on this lap. Trying to slide that rear tyre then. Mir just in front of us. So actually, if we're going around the outside of Mir, we're not going to be able to do the long lap. So I'm not really sure why I've gone for that particularly. So I'll have to do it on the next lap. So only fair. You get 3 laps to do it, don't you? So have to do it on the very next one. Rins just in front of us. Then we might be able to get Rins before the end of this lap. Might be able to get him down to turn 12. I don't think the AI are great into there. On the brakes at the inside. Oh, no, I'm not great into there either by the looks of it. We slid a little bit. Rins back around the outside. That rear tyre actually hasn't got enough heat in it. I think that's the problem. We're going to cut back underneath him through 13. Up into 4th place now. Then Brad Binder up next. Then it's the 2 Yamahas in front of him, of course, of Quartararo and Vinales. Oh, Rins clipping my rear end of it there. And that's allowed Mir to get a great run on Rins. I didn't mean to cut Rins up, I just didn't think he was going to dive like that. I was trying to get the swooping exit again to try and pass Brad Binder, but he's looking for a move on Fabio Quartararo. Down towards this last corner. Looks like Binder could be on for the victory here in the Teruel round of this championship. In the game, I mean. Of course, in real life, he's actually struggling quite a bit at this round. So he's coming towards the line then, 48.0, considering the amount of mistakes on that lap is not terrible. So we brake quite early for the first corner then. Hopefully we can try and pass Quartararo then. So Quartararo's up next because Binder's just got the inside of him. We're looking at the inside of Quartararo now as well, trying to follow him through. Another fastest lap for Cal Crutchlow, but we've found our way now past Fabio Quartararo. And it looks like Brad Binder's up next. And well, it doesn't look like it. I know Brad Binder's up next. I can see him. So Brad Binder up next then, and then it's Maverick Vinales. But of course we've got to do our sort of given long lap penalty on this lap. And we've got a 4/10 penalty as well. But the pace has been pretty good, so if we don't lose too much time on this long lap that I'm going to give myself, we might be able to actually get back up to the back of these guys for the end of the race. But we're looking at the inside of Brad. Oh, that was going to be risky. So here we go then, going for an attempt at the long lap. It's actually not going to cost me too much, I don't think. It's lost me the position to Quartararo. That seems to be about it. So I don't think I've taken it quite right, but I've given myself a penalty for knocking Crutchlow off anyway. We're back down to 4th position. Oh, down towards turn 12. That was an off-track overtake. I'll let him keep that one. It's only because I thought I was going to hit him up the back, to be honest. The front tyre's actually taking quite a beating here. But Brad Binder is going to try and take Vinales, and I think he's going to try and check out. So we actually need to try and get back on the back of Brad Binder as soon as possible. We can't be letting him get away. Looks like Rossi's going side by side with Rins, so Rins is going backwards now. In the slipstream of Fabio Quartararo, though, can we do it? There goes Binder for the lead, into the last corner. We're going on the inside of Fabio. We've actually dived it up the inside. We've made it stick, actually, because we kind of just forced him wide with us. So Vinales will be up next then, and then it will be Brad Binder. We almost passed him on this lap. Let's see what this lap actually is. 48.1. I lost a 1/10 of a second compared to the previous lap. I don't think I quite did the long lap. How it is in real life, but if they're not going to add it in the game, there's not much I can do about it, is there? And if you don't get penalties for collisions, wow, Crutchlow really has got the pace. There's a glitch in this game where when the AI get on their own, they just do ridiculous times. Well, at this track anyway. It happens at a few others, but this track particularly. We're looking at the inside of Vinales then. Ooh, can we get it stuck? Yes, we have. We're back in front of Vinales now then. Well, we were never in front of him, but we're now in front of Vinales. Brad Binder up next then. We've got to try and catch him up. Lap 5 of 8, we've actually still got quite a few laps to go, which is quite surprising, to be honest. So hitting the brakes then for this turn 8. Flick it over into turn 9. We've actually closed massively up to Brad through this section. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier on in the video or not, but this is 120% AI. This is just, you know, they're not great. They're actually pretty good at Aragon in terms of lap times. Like you can see with Crutchlow, he's going way quicker than I am, but that's just because he's out of sight. It's happened in my career mode last year with Marquez. Not last year, the last season I did on the KTM. Marquez got out front, and he was absolutely gone. He was absolutely gone, and he was lapping like 2 seconds a lap quicker than me once he got out in front. So out of this bus stop chicane, then we're a second in front of Vinales already. So me and Binder really are picking up the pace here, but side by side with Binder down towards the final corner. We should have this one done because we're already in front of him before the braking zone, and we all know that you can easily outbrake the AI at most corners. So there we go then, Alex Marquez hits the front, leads a race for the first time in MotoGP. So out the last corner then, but Binder is right up behind us, 46.3, so we are actually now lapping quicker than Cal Crutchlow. It seems like me and Binder have absolutely checked out from the rest of the pack. Obviously I think Vinales is actually holding them back a little bit, which is actually kind of intended. Vinales' race pace in the game, well in the mod actually, is quite poor, but it just seems like none of the AI can actually get past him, so we're pulling away from him quite easily here in turn 5. What is the gap to Binder now behind? We'll have to wait till the sector point, which is on the straight, so it's alright, 0.3 of a second, so we've definitely not dropped him yet. I was hoping it'd be a bit bigger than that. Through 7 we've gone a little bit wide, but if you look, we've actually got plenty of tyre left, which is nice. The front is slightly overheated, which is strange. You don't tend to get an overheated front on this game. It's usually the rear tyre, well, at least for me anyway. I know some other people it's different, but for me it's usually the rear tyre. But at Aragon, the track temperature is quite high, so that soft front does overheat a bit more. Obviously it's not quite like in real life, where the track temperature was pretty low last weekend, 0.4 of a second. So at this point actually we would lose the race by 0.1 of a second. We've ran it a little bit wide through 12, so we're definitely good. There goes Binder. Binder's back through, so Binder's actually going to win on track now. But as we go back down towards the chicane again, up the inside we go of Brad. He's going to try and hang it around the outside, so we're going to just let him do that. Go in hot, get the switch back on the power. Back past Brad Binder once again. Then we're now 2.2 seconds in front of Vinales, so we are absolutely leaving Vinales behind, even with all this battling. We have to go down to power mode 0. Going to almost run out of fuel. Don't want that happening again. Although actually the video where that happens hasn't actually gone out yet, so you won't get the reference, but you'll get it once you've seen it. So 46.8 then, so again lapping similar to Cal Crutchlow times. We actually would have won the race there though. We were just far enough in front, so obviously we got that penalty for corner cutting on one of the laps, and we can argue maybe that's a penalty for not taking the long lap properly, because I mean I slowed right down because I realised I was going to cut the corner. But of course you still get the penalty for it, which is nice. So through turn 4 then, into 5 again. This is the corner obviously where we got that penalty. What's the gap to Binder behind? Sliding the rear tyre. Absolutely destroying it. 0.2 of a second, so Binder is catching us. We need to try and get his head down and try and get away from Brad Binder. So obviously it is only the penultimate lap, well it is the penultimate lap of the race already. So only one more to go after this one. So if he can actually keep on the back of us, he'll win the race on account of my penalty, and that will be 2 wins for Binder this season. Obviously in this sort of universe, where this is the Teruel round. Is it Teruel? I think that's how it's pronounced. I have no idea at all. As you know, I'm terrible with pronunciations, and you guys like to correct me in the comments, which I actually appreciate. So if you want to correct me on that one, feel free to do so. I believe the GP name is different though. Like it's the Teruel Grand Prix, but the hashtag is actually something different, which is quite weird. So as we go through 15 and trying to get on the power again, this is obviously where you can gain massive time on the AI again with that 4.33 in front of him, like we were at the end of the lap on the previous one. So I'm going to go back up into power mode 1 now. I should be okay because I went to 0 for an entire lap, but it's MotoGP 20, its fuel system is not good, so it could definitely be still running out of fuel here. Sliding right to the edge of the track there. This time we've done actually the same lap time. We've now got 0.7 over Brad Binder, so that would be enough to win the race quite comfortably. Well, not quite comfortably, it's only a couple tenths of a second still, but I mean more than a few hundredths like it was on the previous lap. 2.5 laps of fuel left apparently, so that should take us to the end. I was planning on probably cutting any of the boring bits out of this race, but I've actually managed to have things to say over the entire thing, so you'll probably see the full race, which is it's always nice for you guys to see the full race. Obviously, sometimes in these last of first challenges, you get to a point where there's a big gap, and I'll need like 3-4 laps of just saying nothing, try-harding to try and bring the gap back. I think Donington was probably quite a good example of that. Marquez cleared off by about 4 seconds by the time I got up into second position, so I had to probably try for about 5-6 laps to actually bring that gap back in to Marquez to catch him up. But obviously no Marquez in this one, although Brad Binder being the AI to watch out for, and Crutchlow to a certain extent. Obviously we crashed Crutchlow off, just got a massive stoppie, and because I was going past him, I just went straight on and just clipped his front wheel, which was unfortunate really, because it wasn't a crazy move, it was just a mistake on the brakes, and he was unfortunately on the outside of me. So we just clipped his front wheel, which obviously is going to have him off. Through then turn 13, we've got a fairly big gap, and this is the point where we gain the time here, 1.1. So we've actually picked the pace up quite considerably on this lap. I think this might be my fastest lap of the race. I've got a bit of a feeling about that as we go down towards this final corner then. Braking actually, yeah, just about right. I was going to say a little bit late, but, oh yeah, we've gone a bit wide through here, but it's not the end of the world. We've got a massive lead. Coming out the last corner then, Alex Marquez is going to win his first race in MotoGP, 46.2 on that final lap as well. So even with that penalty, we won by a second, so we must have had about 1.4 over him. Vinales actually hung on to third place, which is quite surprising considering how much it was holding everybody up. I want to see who got the fastest lap. Petrucci, 45.5. It's weird, these simulated times are so like broken in terms of the fastest laps. It actually looked to be a fairly realistic result because Rabat, Zarco, Bagnaia, Petrucci and Dovi all pretty far down the order, and the Ducatis really were struggling here in real life, so I'm not really sure why they actually are so far down the order. They usually aren't in the mod. You see Miller's only got 10th there, all the other KTMs are nowhere as well except Binder, so quite what's happened there I don't know. I think I do need to probably do another shake-up for the AI performance. I know I got asked, someone messaged me asking when the next update's going to be. I don't know yet, just purely because I'm focusing on other mods at the minute, so I've not really had the time to work on Project 20 too much, and obviously schoolwork as well. I mean, that's the main thing. Let's have a look at the replay. Let's see how I actually took out Cal Crutchlow, and then that'll probably about wrap up the video. So this is actually on board with Crutchlow, so let's see what it looks like from his point of view. He's braking for this last corner. I do a massive stoppie, yeah, and I just have to let off the brake and just clatter into him. So poor old Cal, he almost went down that the old layout the World Superbike used a couple of times, and then he actually spawned so far away. So far away. Wow. He spawned so far away from the track, and then how far would he be? Oh wow, he was the whole front straight behind. How did he catch up to the back of Tito Rabat and beat him? Well, actually, he beat the two Aprilias, didn't he? So where are the two Aprilias at this point? Oh, wait, of course, yeah, I went the wrong way. So the two Aprilias are actually just behind Petrucci, so they're a good chunk of time in front of him. So I did check to see if he actually caught them up, or if it was milestone sort of simulation, just allowing him to catch up from that far behind. And yeah, he actually did catch the two Aprilias, he got them on the penultimate lap and managed to get past them both. So fair play to Cal Crutchlow there. He definitely had the pace of me and Binder, so he probably could have won the race. So on board me then, I'm on the inside, the move's done, it's just because I got the stoppie. I get a stoppie here, you can see, massive, the rear wheel comes off the ground, so I have to let off the brake, and that's forcing me in wide, but Crutchlow's not expecting that. He turns in, we have quite a hefty amount of contact, and no surprise he goes down, although actually a bit of surprise that I didn't go down, or didn't even at least lose position to Nakagami. Oh yeah, he did. Okay, he did get back up the inside, I was going to say. One other thing to look at is this thing with Rins, where he went up the inside and I was already cutting across. Oh, it was a late cut from myself, I must say. If we have a look on board Rins, he was in very, very wide. Look how wide he was. So he just kept the power open to flick it at the inside, but I was just cutting across already. And luckily for us, both of us stayed on, but that definitely affected Rins' run because Mir managed to get past him here, I believe. Yeah, Mir's alongside, or does Mir actually get the move done? Doesn't look like he's going to actually, no. So then, that pretty much brings this video to a close. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that one. It was a pretty fun last to first challenge. Sometimes they're a little bit boring if you can get to the front too quickly. But we had a nice little dice with Binder towards the end. I sort of had to pick my pace up throughout the race. You could see I was sort of getting more to grips with the MotoGP bikes again. It seems to be like that the last few videos. I've just been trying to get back to grips with the game and the bikes themselves. We've actually done a fairly decent job there. Of course, you don't go from playing the game every single day and then just playing it occasionally and lose all your muscle memory and skill and stuff. It just takes a little bit of time to get back into it. So that's why you can beat the AI fairly easily. Obviously 120%, like I said before. I always get asked this in my videos, what AI am I using? Because when I do videos like this, it makes it look like I'm using a low AI, and people that are new to the channel just assume that sometimes, but actually no, I always use the highest AI possible. Otherwise this wouldn't be a challenge, would it? If I if I was like, oh yeah, I'll turn the AI down and I'll just go past them that easily. Unless the challenge, dictates that it needs to have a lower AI for certain reasons, like first-person challenge or whatever. Bit enough rambling. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.
This rider has been able to impose a frantic pace on today's race, and now he and his mechanics are rightly going to party. These days, the podium is extremely valuable. MotoGP has never had so many competitive riders at the same time. Today, they were at their best, and they deserve to celebrate. The level of the championship is only getting better. Consistent results seem to be the secret to a good season.